Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Levi, and we're back with another Genshin Impact video. And today, I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded, but what can you do? Today, we're going to be talking about why Xiao does so much damage. What is like behind it? Like, why is his damage when he ults is just ease, basic attacks is hard? We're just getting straight into it. So, a really good thing is that his second main stat, I should say main stat, while going up or ascending, I should say, and leveling him up, is crit rate. Crit rate and crit damage are probably the best like two stats to get while you're sending a character. And Xiao has crit rate. Personally, I think crit rate's better because that means you can focus more on your crit damage on your crown. Because you can get like up to like what 62% on your crown if you have a crit damage min stat. And if you had crit damage, you probably want to use a crit rate one unless you have like really good crit rate rolls. But another thing is Xiao has before I say that, crit rate, like, you have a easier build because most of his best spears, Primordial Jade, Deathmatch, both those two are, in my opinion, the best picks. They both have good amount of crit rate on them, so you can combine that with some crit rate rolls, and you can have easily get up to like 70% around there, and then your crit damage with the crown can be up to like over 200%, and Xiao is just busted right there. Another thing is, Xiao has the highest basic attack in the game, sitting at 349. Diluc has 335. But yeah, as you see, he does have the highest basic attack in the game, which is very, very, very good. And as you see, his normal attack, the multipliers compared to someone like Diluc. Diluc is obviously higher, but then again, he is a Claymore user. But Xiao's is very, very high for being a Polearm user. For his E is probably his. If you have him C6, that's definitely his best source of DPS if you're having 2 or more enemies. Or, I mean, Plunge Attack is also very good for him, but yeah, as you see, Diluc would have somewhat higher, but then he's Claymore compared to Polearm. But as you can see, the damage multipliers on his E are very high. It would max out for here if you don't have him C2? No, C3. C3. If you didn't have him Constellation 3, it max out at 10, but if you get him C3, you can get it to 15. 600% at level 15. The multiplier on this is very, very high. Combine that with the fact you get 2 charges, and if you have C1, you get 3 charges, and it can cap out 600%, minimum 450, 455 as you get. Basically anything here is just a very, very high multiplier, and it goes up by a pretty significant amount. It goes up by 20, 20, 20. It keeps going up by 20 something over and over again, and it gets all the way 600. And a good comparison actually is Child's Ultimate. Child's Ultimate is the multiplier on that ultimate is absolutely absurd. If I can find them, there it is. Child's Ultimate multiplier is absolutely absurd. Is this one it? Yeah, ranged. See, it goes up to almost 900%. Melee, 1000%. Then again, his multiplier is like higher than Xiao's at level 5, but you see, like Child's ultimate gave like 200k and stuff. It like with just support, and like Xiao's over here on his E getting up to like 600%. Another very, very good thing is his ult. His ult, it basically converts all your attacks to Nemo damage, and it boosts your attack depending on what the talent level is. Like at level 10, if you max 3, you get 95%. If you have him C5, 117% is the max. You get the life drain goes down once you hit level 8? No, level 7. Once you hit level 7, it caps out 15 seconds, and for duration, the cooldown and energy cost doesn't change. But let's see, this you can stack it upon this. So basically, if you ult and use your E, you're getting the ult buff while you're using the E's multiplier. So you're basically stacking the damage buff up top with the E, which causes a lot of damage. Same thing with these basic stacks. You're using the ult, which converts it to Nemo. And if you're a smart Xiao user, you'd have an Nemo cup. I don't see why you wouldn't have the Nemo cup. And so you have that converts to Nemo. You get this damage boost plus the Nemo damage bonus into the normal attacks, because it converts everything to normal. So your plunges, your basic attacks, your charge attacks, all that turns into Nemo damage. So seeing all these multipliers, which are pretty damn high and do really good damage even without being like in your ult, and you're getting this buff, this multiplier, and the Anemo damage bonus. And if you're also running Viridescent, that's another 50%. So you're getting like 61% ish total with this ult. I'd say if you have level 10, if you're getting 61, you're basically getting like 100, somewhere in the hundreds, like 150, 160, depending on like where your talent is at, depending on where your talent's on this. It's absolutely absurd. And now if we go down to his passive talents, while he's under his ult, all the damage dealt by him is increased by 5%, and every 3 seconds the ability is active, so it caps out at 15, which is when the ult ends, so 25%. You basically get 5% extra damage every 3 seconds. And on top of that, when you use your E, it increases that damage of your next E by 15%, and you get a maximum of 3 stacks. And when you get a new stack of defense, so this is a very, very perfect thing if you, especially if you have C1, because you automatically have AC increases the charges by 1. So this is like perfect. You have 3. His third E will hit the hardest. So you see, it's buffing it by 15%, and if you're in E, you're buffing it by 5%, which is very, very insane. So you're getting this buff, the ult buff, plus the insane cool multiplier on your E, plus the anemo damage bonus cup. And if you crit, that well, you're gonna want it to crit, obviously. It's so absurd of how high the multipliers go. These don't really affect his multipliers at all, but as you see, yeah, it's not too complicated if you think about it, because as I said, you get the ult buff, you have the insane E multiplier, good damage multipliers on here, you get the anemo damage bonus cup, you're critting, so you're getting the crit multiplier, and you're getting stuff like this. It increases your damage by 5% every 3 seconds. And then if you're using E, it increases damage to the next E by 50%, so your E does more and more. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you, especially with Constellation on him, your E is going to be the main source of damage. I know a lot of people say plunges, but that's for mostly people who have him like C0. But someone like me who has him C6, I'm prioritizing the E and ult. Because with the E and ult, he hits very, very hard. The E's just goes... It's so absurd of how much damage you do. I don't know what they were thinking when they made him. With all these like multipliers you get, like as I said, 25% here. You can get up to like what, 45% here on your 30. You can get, say, like my talent's at 99%. So basically 100% extra here, because I'm just basing it off my much level 11. But realistically, it'd be like 95 for most people if you had talent maxed out. Then you'd get like 455 here. So your E is just going to be getting all those multipliers. And if your basic attack plunging over and over again, you're literally plunging with the high, because you're normally going to want to go high with him because he jumps really high once he does ult. And you can constantly do high damage plunge. So you're getting this multiplier, with this multiplier, with this multiplier, with the anemo damage cup. So it's really simple if you think about it. It might seem a little bit at first, but I just wanted to talk about why Xiao just does so much damage. Basically, just a conclusion of the video: multipliers on top of multipliers on top of multipliers. But that's basically it for the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.